Hello, hi guys. How are you? How's your weekend? Alright, I hope you have been enjoying your weekend so far. But firstly, I would appreciate and thank you for coming back, taking some time off on your precious weekend to actually watch this video to get yourself to understand what's happening in the US market for the past 1 week or so. Alright, and are we actually looking forward in the next week to come. Right, so that we have a better understanding where the market is, what big events are going to happen in the US market, and how are we going to look forward to plan our trading plans moving forward for the next week to come. Alright, okay, so without further ado, let's have a quick review of what's happening or what's going to happen in the US market for the next week. Alright, so just a quick one. If you are brand new to this channel, this is the first video we came across. If you like what we have do so far, you'll enjoy our content of our video if you have watched the previous video. Alright, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please remember to subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. But most importantly, also not forget clicking on the bell button beside that so that you will be notified every single time when we upload a new video on this channel. Alright, so a quick disclaimer: if this is the first time you're watching this video, please pause this and read through every single word of it. On and on, and to keep it short. Alright, basically it's just a disclaimer to let you know that whatever we share on this video, or rather on this channel, if we happen to talk about any stock in particular, it's all purely for case study purpose, for educational purposes. It's not a buy or sell recommendation. Right? If you like what we share, please do your own due diligence before you take any action. Alright, okay, so without further ado, let's dive in. So I just want to share with you where the US market is of right now. Alright, as of it closes off on Friday itself, alright, we are now back to the all-time high in the market. It actually peaked in the market around this range, alright, after it have actually broke down from the first initial trade war news that happened in the first quarter of 2018. Alright, price has a sharp drop, it went up again, and over this area, the kind of second news that said the trade was going to happen again, a price drop back down. Alright, and after that, Mr. Donald Trump will say that actually the market is okay, it's the best time to buy the market because the price has fallen so much, and the price has went all the way back up, hitting this point. Alright, on this exact spot, that's where Mr. Donald Trump, instead of carry on with what the plan of going ahead with China on the trade war, he actually made an announcement that actually he actually going to increase tariff on trade war again, because certain agreement with the China side doesn't seem to fall through. He mentioned that actually China go against what they agreed upon initially. After that, things start to get after that, the economy or the market start to get worried back in the trade war issue again, and price went down. And right over this point, alright, okay, that's where the Fed start to get a bit concerned, get a bit worried, and did mention that for the following near term, they are definitely not looking to increase the interest rate, but rather if the tension of the trade war is going to continue to happen and going to affect how the business or the economy going to move, by continue or rather in projection to actually maintain and hit their consistent 2% inflation rate, they might consider to actually adjust or even lower the interest rate so that they can sustain and keeping the interest rate at a target of 2%. And that's where the market have feel that there's good news, and price have went back up, now hitting on this point. So if you can see that it actually has triple top. Alright, so at this moment, what's going to happen on the next week is very, very critical. In fact, the next week or so is especially important. Okay, I'm not sure what the market has happened, but in my opinion, I think the market will stay pretty flat. Alright, for the next week to come. It's because next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if I'm not wrong, Sunday included, right, it's going to be the G20 Summit. Alright, so which is going to happen in Japan. Alright, so in the G20 Summit, it's going to happen. There are a few key things we need to take note, and one of the most major thing was started off because of this trade war. So the key meeting is going to happen in Osaka in Japan. Alright, it's between Friday to Sunday, as I said. Alright, so the first key meeting that's going to happen, because people are going to pay a lot of attention to, is the US, Mr. Donald Trump going to meet China, Mr. President Xi. Alright, so that is going to be a key big event, because that is going to give a direction where the trade war is going to continue or not, and in which direction it's going to heading towards. Of course, on behind of that, the next second most important thing is actually between Mr. President Donald Trump with the Russian Mr. Putin. Of course, they have a bit of conflict between both of them. Not to forget, Russia is one of a very big continent itself. They actually control a lot of things, especially the oil and gas industry. Actually, that is one of the key factors to look into. So these are the two key major events that's going to happen. Of course, there's a lot of small other discussion ongoing, but definitely these two will be the key one. Particularly keeping a lot more attention between the US-China talk between the two great leaders. Alright, so even the analysts have said that these two meetings at upcoming G20 will actually be the outcome of this meeting will actually be the one that actually indicate where is the fate of the US market. Okay, very simple, because now we're right at the peak of uncertainty. If a good news came out and it seems to support the economy, potentially this will break through and go higher. But of course, if both leaders couldn't come out with any agreement, they're going to continue with the trade war, the tariff, or they're going to counter sue and bring more issue into the tariff. I'm pretty sure the price will actually bounce off this resistance and start coming back down again. If it can't come back down, how low will it go, we're not sure, but definitely going to bounce off. Alright, this zone where around the 20, or rather around the 200 moving average area. Alright, that's going to be one of the key things to bounce off. Alright, so if you ask me this week, pretty much nothing I will look forward to, because it's really very depends on this major event. Unless you're doing a super short trade within a week, definitely you can do something, I believe so. Okay, but if you're more a mid to long term investor, so you might actually want to consider to actually wait for the outcome of the week to come before you take any action. Alright, okay, so but then by doing that, there might be a small risk on yourself if you're mid to long term investor. That is, if the news, because the news is going to come out Friday, Saturday and Sunday, alright, there's a lot of anticipation. Alright, for retail investors like us, sometimes we might not be able, or rather we do not have the capacity to actually do a pre-market investment. Right, so as the news has come out, certain stocks and shares will have a pre-market movement, right, before the market actually opens on Monday itself. So the price might have gap up or even gap down, right? So it depends on the situation, and you might miss certain stocks that you potentially looking at. They have really have moved when the market just opens at the bell on Monday. So that could something be potential to you need to take note. But of course, if you do any trade before that, you are speculating and anticipating the move in certain direction. If you don't, you'll be negative against you. Alright, okay, so there's really nothing much in the market as I'm looking now, because the price have went quite steeply upwards for the past 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, because of the Fed announced that they're not going to make any major changes, or rather considering to lower the interest rate. Alright, so but with that being said, that's not the end of I know this video. Definitely that's not the end of stocks. There's one particular stock that actually caught my attention. Alright, it's not the best of the choice, but this stock has been in my watch list for a long while. Alright, and it's something that I think that is super great company, super powerful. Alright, but let me share more with you and see whether it's a good opportunity for you to decide. Alright, so this company is very interesting, and because now in this modern era, most people are more paying attention to this, because one of the areas is because of key thing that we know is this new role in the market that is called influencers. Alright, it can be a YouTube influencers or all sorts of influencers, but one of the major area of these influencers is more towards the younger generation. In fact, to certain older generation, they also has been doing into it as a leisure and lifestyle, and that is called traveling. Alright, so you know there's a lot of travel influencers and stuff like that. But as you talk about travel, which is something most people actually like to do it, there's one thing you definitely have to do when you think about traveling. Alright, so the key thing is actually book your accommodation. So if you do a quick search on Google, you just type book hotel. Okay, let's ignore the fact about the top few, which is actually Google paid search. If you look at the organic search, I'm pretty sure within the first 5 organic search, you might come across this company. Alright, of course, if you see on the screen, because I'm based in Singapore, so a lot of my search come out is definitely related to my area. Alright, of course in your area it might be slightly different, but I'm pretty sure within the first 5 organic search, this company will definitely be one of them. Alright, so if you can look through, you will see this very simple and very easy eye-catching company called Booking.com. Alright, okay, so that's it. So this is the company I'm going to talk about today. Is this company called Booking Holding. Okay, so the ticker symbol actually is BKNG. Alright, so let me share a bit more with you about this company. Alright, so this is how the website works. Very simple, very plain, but it's a very catchy company because if you want to book any accommodation, just by the name domain itself, booking.com, it could actually create you a lot of confidence in it. So this must be a very genuine. It is a genuine, but it gives you a lot more confidence and credibility on this company that you want to click on it. Alright, so if you look at their company corporate website, basically what this company does is, alright, it have a main company called Booking.com. Alright, basically it's a search engine actually help you to look through hotel deals that they actually can book your accommodation. Alright, of course, before that they are actually called Priceline previously, which is a similar search engine as well. Okay, over the years they have acquired a lot more other similar competitors to be under their arm. Okay, one of them will be actually Kaya based in the Europe, and in Asia they actually have acquired Agoda.com. Okay, so these are the four key big or let's say relatively big and well-known hotel search engine in the world. Okay, of course, throughout the years they actually acquire a lot more other companies, and some of the companies they actually merge it and remove their name, but some of the services they actually retained it. So which are two of the other arms that actually they retain is actually the rentalcars.com as well as the OpenTable, we actually deals with restaurant reservation. Alright, so if you do a quick Wikipedia, so basically you can see that these are the company they does. They are actually listed in the Nasdaq Stock Exchange within the top S&P 500. In fact, they are within the top S&P 100 companies. Alright, so as you see, they are firstly incorporated at Priceline, but over the years they actually changed their name. Okay, so if you look it down, these are actually the company they have acquired over the years. Okay, but the key thing actually is not just this. Actually, look at the numbers itself. Okay, firstly you look at the revenue, right? You can see the revenue, okay, has been consistently growing year after year. Alright, and the operating margin have been keeping pretty healthy, right? It's now over 30%. Right, the income has been increasing year after year as well, which is something is very good. Okay, and the most important thing that will actually lead to a strong growing earnings per share. Okay, as for Booking.com, they do not have a policy of actually issue out dividends, so they whatever money they make, they actually reinvest in the company and keep growing. And you can see that the company have a relative, it's a very interesting company because it have a relative very small outstanding shares. In fact, they are still decreasing over the years. They're actually getting lesser and lesser. Alright, but the key thing to note is their operating cash flow has been actually increasing healthily, mainly because of the strong revenue generating ability. Okay, and they have actually rather slow, very small capex expenditure. Okay, you think about it. One thing is for Booking.com, what are they? Although they deal with the hospitality industry, they actually deal with booking of accommodation, but they are not a hotel chain. Basically, they are just an IT platform that actually provide services to actually link up, alright, hotel deals under their one platform. So whatever hotel they have their new rooms available for rent, they will actually go to companies like Booking.com or any other search engine website to let them know that actually they have room and services that is available, and people can just through this website like Booking.com to actually go in and then find the rooms that are available that they want, and then actually book on the rate that they actually find it suitable. Okay, so they basically just an IT search engine. So they have very low capex because there's nothing much they actually have to buy and maintain the hotel, but rather they just need to actually maintain their offices and their search engine servers and stuff like that. Alright, so which is actually a good thing. And the other good thing to think about it for such company is they do not have inventory holding, okay, which is one of the key good thing that if you're a fundamental analysis investor, you actually will like that, because inventory can be a pain in ass sometimes for certain business, because by holding too much stocks and it can't sell, it could be an issue. So like Booking.com definitely will not have an inventory issue because they do not hold any. Alright. Okay, so with the strong operating cash flow and the low capex, actually will generate very high, healthy free cash flow year over year. which is a good thing, right? So if you look at the return on equity, is constantly above 20%, right? Which is just tell me that the company is making very effective returns on the equity as an investor. Okay, so if you look at the financial health based on current ratio, the company is healthy. It has more than one current ratio, i.e. to say just in terms of short-term debt, the company has enough liquid asset actually to offload their current liquid liabilities. So that actually help them to clear off anything within a year. Alright, they also have genuinely low debt to equity. Alright, it's still less than 1. But one thing I kind of like give it a red mark in the sense that because it seems like their equity has, rather their debts has been growing year over year. So it's trying to tell me the company is actually acquiring using a lot more debt funding for their business. Alright, so this is something that actually probably have to dive deeper. Why are they increasing so much debt? I hope that is one of the good reasons is because they are using this debt to actually do more merger and acquisition so that they can buy out more smaller companies to expand their outreach and stuff like that. But overall, generally, I think all are good. Although the debt level is getting higher, but it's still within the comfortable level that I feel of. Okay, so I just think that this company is pretty good, very very wonderful. Alright, so if you look at the chart itself, so if you look at the chart, so this is a 5-year long-term chart on a weekly candle basis of Booking.com. Alright, so you can see that the company has been actually going uptrend for many years since 2010 all the way until 2019 has been moving uptrend. Alright, but if you're looking at somewhere in the shorter term, so this is something that interesting and got my attention. Alright, for this screen it's actually a short term, mid to short term 1 year basis. You're looking between 2017 to 2019 within these 2 years. So, but firstly, pardon me because of the size of the candlestick, because I need to zoom out a bit so that you can actually have a better picture. Right, but what actually interesting to me is, remember this is the blue line that is more on the 5 years long term, 5 to 10 years long term chart. So on the short term, since 2018, okay, the price has been coming down, right? But we know just now earlier, based on fundamental numbers, the company is making more and more money in terms of revenue and in terms of income, increasing or cash flow since early years until now. So every year they are actually making money. But for the last 2 years, the price has been coming down. Alright, so you can see that it's actually forming a downtrend. Right, so if you're able to draw actually a trend line on the resistance level on the downtrend, you can see that all these point met, all these point met, all these point met, all these point met. So it came the way down here, bounce back up here, continue to hit the resistance and came back down again. So right at this point, right, and it hit you. Okay, if you notice that actually it has been hitting this support level. Alright, this will be a resistance turn support level 3 times as it bounced up. So the key thing now is it has broke out of the short term resistance level. Alright, so this might be a good entry point to look at in terms of technical aspect. Alright, because if you are more into a technical analysis, you know that once anything that is downtrend is hitting off, firstly it bounced off here twice. It's just showing that this is actually a double bottom, which is a technical sign that the stock actually have bottomed and actually reversing back up to an uptrend. And second thing is, once you see a trend that is broken, that means it will reverse the trend itself. Right, so this could be a sign that, alright, Booking.com is actually changing trend. But do take note, nothing is certain when it comes to technical analysis. This could be just a fake out. Alright, it might break and then come back down and go further down again. Especially taking a note at this point of time when we are looking forward in the next week, alright, where the G20 Summit will come. Any outcome of the discussion can actually swing the whole market, alright, no matter where the chart and position is now. Alright, so this might be something potential, but also something that important for you to take note because of the major economy of where the G20 Summit is going to happen. Alright, but if you're looking at the fundamental, alright, of Booking.com, firstly, if you look at the PE is very high at 27, about 27. If you look at the PEG, so they draw a relation between the growth and the PE, is still pretty high at 1.54. Okay, so if I actually do a discounted earnings model, because the company has been making a lot of earnings year after year, okay, the intrinsic value of calculator is about $1,250. Alright, So if I use the other model, although the companies likewise are also generating very healthy, consistent cash flow year after year, right? Based on the intrinsic calculator that actually I did, the intrinsic value still work out to roughly about $1,419, all right? But the company's share price currently is about $1,880, where it last closed on Friday, right? So based on all the fundamental assessment valuation method, Booking.com is definitely overvalued as of now, right? So if you're looking at this company, definitely have to be purely looking as a technical trade, okay? So the risk is definitely a bit higher because you are buying right at the high, you're not buying at support level. It just taking the fact that actually it broke the short-term resistance and it probably going to change the trend itself. All right. So there's a few pretty scenarios that might happen. All right. So this company might just break and then go all the way up. There's one possibility. All right. The second possibility, it might go up and start to come down, retest this resistance level before it start trending up again. Right. If not, if all else fails, it will just actually just can come all the way down again. Right, that is all a possibility. So your risk level at this point in time is generally a bit larger because you're playing on the technical trade that actually broke a downtrend resistance. Right, so the gap here is pretty huge, and plus because it's a high price stocks, we are easily talking somewhere about 200 to 300 difference just on that. All right. Okay, so if you're looking to enter the trade for this company, all right, do remember that the risk level is a bit higher. Okay, but most importantly, key thing is this portfolio size. All right, if your portfolio allow you to actually just put in about 1 or 2% of your portfolio by entering this into buying your stocks, all right, you may want to do so. Okay, for this particular stock, unless your portfolio is huge, I generally don't recommend you to actually use option because firstly, the price and the risk level is a bit high because for every options, right, one contract is 100 shares. You just imagine you're taking this number times 100, you're easily looking, if you just do a simple sell put, naked put strategy, you need at least a 6 figures portfolio size to actually, 6 figure to actually just to do a 1 or 2%, or in fact up to maybe a 10% of a position, just for a 6 figure to do one position, which is huge. Right, so I generally don't recommend that, but if your portfolio allows, you might actually want to consider just putting 1 or 2% that it can be equivalent to buying about a couple of shares. If 1 or 2% is less than affordable for you to actually buy even a share, then just forget it about this stock, just keep it. Just wait for the weeks to come, wait for the outcome of the G20 to know where really the direction of the market is going to move to. And from there, start re-looking at your watch list again to find out which are some of the good companies that actually have that potential for you to enter. But as of now, just keep to look through your watch list throughout the next week. Look through your watch list again, actually to find to handpick some of the companies that you think that might potential that have certain a certain reaction or certain thing happen in the stock market, which are the few good stock you might be waiting or want to look up to enter after the outcome of the G20 market, or rather G20 Summit. Alright, okay, so with that, I think that is all I have for you this week. Alright, so nothing major. The main key thing is really just a G20 Summit and something you forward to, but I just want to do this video to update you what's going to happen, what to look out for in the weeks to come, and just quickly share with you one potential trade that I feel that is a good company to look at. It's just that it's not in really the best scenario to actually enter because it's a technical move. Alright, but it's still a good company to look out for and should watch list. Alright, okay, so I hope you learned something. Alright, so the key thing is look out for the next week big major event because the whole market is looking at it. Alright, so I wish you have a good week ahead. Okay, look out for the good news and probably have more good opportunities surface after the end of next week. Alright, okay, so take care guys. Alright, I hope you like this video. Okay, if you really do, please give a thumbs up on this video. Alright, please comment below how do you find it. Alright, and remember to subscribe if you have not done so. Alright, okay, so have a great week and I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye.